Years ago, the US dollar became the global standard, but today that power is under siege. Here's how BRICS is changing everything. Could a new alliance be the beginning of the end of the US dollar? Today, we're diving into how BRICS, a coalition of countries like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are reshaping the global financial order. But it's not just about politics. If this movement succeeds, it could hit right here in America. Imagine inflation skyrocketing and the cost of everyday goods doubling or even tripling. Is this really the future we're heading for? Let's break it down. First, let's start with the basics. BRICS was originally a coalition of emerging markets: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Together, they represent nearly half of the world's population and about 24% of global GDP. BRICS was created to boost economic cooperation, but now it's evolving with a goal that's much bolder: challenging the dollar as the world's default currency. Why would those countries want to do this? Well, dominance of the dollar gives the US a powerful edge. Countries trading in dollars means the US can impose sanctions, print more money, and keep a steady grip on the global economy. BRICS wants to break free from that grip and establish an alternative that can compete with the dollar directly. BRICS countries have built new systems to support their goal. They set up their new development bank, which rivals the International Monetary Fund, providing loans for projects without needing dollars. And China, a core BRICS member, has started pushing the yuan in oil trades. Imagine an oil market no longer relying on the dollar. BRICS countries aren't just talking about it, they're acting on it. China and Russia are even working together on their own cross-border payment systems to avoid dollar-dominated networks like SWIFT. What's more, they're considering creating a digital BRICS currency, adding yet another tool to sidestep the dollar altogether. So, what does all this mean for us in the United States? Well, if the demand for the dollar decreases worldwide, its value could drop. And that means imported goods, from electronics to everyday groceries, could become much more expensive. Consider this: nearly 60% of global reserves are held in US dollars. If countries reduce their dollar holdings in favor of BRICS currencies, demand for the dollar will shrink. Experts say that with lower demand, the dollar could weaken significantly, pushing up prices for American consumers. Let's take inflation, for example. When the dollar weakens, everything we import costs more. Everyday items like milk, bread, and gas could see double-digit inflation as a result. And that's not just speculation. It's based on real-world patterns we're already seeing as BRICS ramps up their actions to challenge the dollar's dominance. For an American family, this could mean higher mortgage rates, shrinking retirement accounts, and an overall hit to the standard of living. Imagine working the same hours for less purchasing power every single year. So, is the fall of the dollar inevitable? Maybe not. Some experts say the dollar's strength lies in global trust and US stability. But with BRICS growing stronger and pushing their agenda, the world could see more countries questioning the dollar's role. Right now, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and even Turkey have expressed interest in joining BRICS. Imagine an expanded BRICS that holds 2/3 of the world's oil supply. How easily they could reshape oil prices or even dictate the terms of trade in currencies other than the dollar. We're entering a time where the balance of economic power could shift. And for Americans, that might mean preparing for a reality where the dollar isn't as dominant as before. So what's the takeaway here? BRICS' challenge to the dollar isn't just headlines. It's a movement that could reshape our financial lives here in the US. And if BRICS succeeds, it could lead to a world where we're not the top economic power anymore. And that has a real impact on your wallet. If you're concerned about the future or want to stay updated on the shifts in global power, hit that subscribe button. Let's keep a close eye on BRICS, the dollar, and what this all means for American families. Together, we'll stay informed and be ready for what's next.